everyone. Today I'll be reviewing this movie on Netflix called The Starling, starring Melissa McCarthy, Calvin Klein, and this movie is directed by Theodore Melfi, who also had directed Hidden Figure, which I thought was very interesting movie. So in this movie, Lily, played by Melissa McCarthy, she's trying to deal with the tragic in her life happened, which is her infant daughter Katie. She died of a SID, which is very like serious thing, like many kids, they lose their life. So after this tragic happened, she's and her husband, who is after this tragedy, he basically tried to kill himself, and he's in an institution trying to get better, to get back to his normal life, where he's a teacher. We can't be around children. If he sees any children, it triggers his memory of this tragic. So this movie definitely has very interesting plot, or should I say like very good plot, honestly, because this thing do happen to many people, and losing your child is very traumatic thing, like the most tragic thing ever in this world, losing your kids. So when you see any movie like this, so that's why when I was watching this movie, I wanted this movie to be emotional, and something will grab people's attention with this emotional journey these two people will face. Instead of this emotional journey, this movie actually is not about that. It's about this bird, Starling, who comes to Lily's house, and Lily's trying to do gardening, and this bird it has a nest there, and it has a baby, and this bird is very, like, I don't know, very aggressive bird, I guess. Is whenever Lily tries to do any gardening, this bird attacks her, and in one attack she actually gets her head, like her head was bleeding. This, I was like, seriously, am I watching a movie where bird attacks someone and they cut their head and it's bleeding? Like this movie, the way it was done, it was so silly. Especially when I think about it, this movie is about this tragic, instead of focusing on that. Although this movie is about that, this woman, she's trying to overcome this tragic. Instead, this halfway, this movie start focusing on this bird and what is this bird is doing there. And I was like, what am I watching here? Honestly, this movie was so boring. Halfway through, I was really shocked how boring this movie. This movie could have been a really great movie. Instead of it became this weird drama about this woman and this bird, and through this bird she's trying to overcome her tragedy. And I was like, really? We have seen many silly things, and here we was. Let me say, yeah, I did like that scene where this bird is actually took Lily's like the socks, her daughter's sock. This she found this daughter's socks in this bird nest. Yeah, that scene was really very sad. Made me cry, honestly. That is said, I thought the Calvin Klein, who I haven't seen in many years in anything, he was in this movie, and he was really like his character had no backstory at all in here. He just he used to be a therapist, now he's not. He's a bat. He's trying to help Lily overcome this tragic. I wish we got a little bit more backstory of his character, honestly. Instead, we get nothing from him. He just trying to do this thing. I think this movie was trying to show us like he also trying to overcome his thing with his therapy or whatever. But overall, this movie, I felt like it really did injustice to Lily's husband's character, because his end of the day, he was also trying to get better, like he can be around the children. And in this movie, the way they portrayed his character, this dad character, it was really so bad, like doesn't make any sense. He doesn't take his pills, and he doesn't listen to the doctor there. I'm like, why you were even there? I felt like he was there just to get away from his wife. That is his main reason, I think. How this movie ended, the fairy tale ending, I was like, oh really? Overall, I feel like this movie was trying to say something but got lost in the middle. But overall, I still thought that all the acting in this movie was okay. The material they were giving, especially Melissa McCarthy, she's a really good actress. She's actually Oscar-nominated actress. But in this movie, his character, halfway through, this director, he realized that Melissa McCarthy is a comedian. We should do some comedy in this movie. And that's why they added this bird and this thing, which has really annoyed me, honestly. And I was like, what I'm watching is really... like, I was bored out of my mind, honestly, watching this movie. Still, this movie's the plot line is interesting, but it didn't deliver to it what it was going for, I felt like. Anyway, that was my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this movie, and if you enjoyed my review, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to leave your comment, and please take care.